Monthly Bro Talks Films, good ones. Hi, I'm Monthly Bro. When I was young, my father warned me find others' good points. His teachings stopped me from judging others. But New York City, then, was pure decadence. As times progressed, people got more greedy. Returning, I deeply detested everyone, everything. Only one person was exempt, Gatsby. The narrator's Nick. He now lives at Perkins Sanatorium. He's diagnosed with severe insomnia, anxiety. Nick said Gatsby's the most optimistic man he'd seen. So, the story slowly unfolds in Nick's memory. It's summer 1922. Nick, like most ambitious young people, came to New York, this state of gold. Nick rented a small house in West Egg. The house was surrounded by new money mansions. Nick had a cousin, Daisy. She lived across the lake in East Egg. She's a charming, captivating woman, full of irresistible passion. Her husband, Tom, was heir to one of America's richest families. Even with such a beautiful wife, Tom still cheated with the gas station owner's wife. That night, Tom took Nick to a secret apartment for a wild adult party. In this wild, unrestrained atmosphere of primal impulses, people citywide were painfully, happily in desire's vortex. Nick watched it all, both inside it and beyond it. He both indulged in life's instant pleasures and deeply loathed them. When Nick returned, he had an ominous feeling. His neighbor, the castle's owner Gatsby, formally invited him to a party. In Nick's mind, only upper crust elites attended castle parties because the entire party was utterly luxurious. Every weekend, crowds packed this castle, celebrating. Whether top tycoons, business elites, supermodels, or commoners, New Yorkers fully enjoyed Gatsby's free drinks, food, and speculated about Gatsby's identity. Some said he's a German spy, others a mysterious killer. Some said Gatsby didn't exist, the castle's an illusion. Nobody had seen Gatsby's real face. People came spontaneously. Gatsby never appeared at parties, so Nick's the only one invited. Nick wondered why only he'd been invited. He's just an unknown poor boy. Before Nick could react, Gatsby appeared. Under the fireworks, he showed a charming smile, as if seeing Nick's inner desires. Gatsby chatted with Nick like a friend and invited Nick to try his new hydroplane tomorrow. Noticing Nick's interest in the party star Baker, he told Nick, in front of her, "Anything you need, just ask," giving Nick much face. Gatsby then invited Baker for a private chat. After the party, Baker ran out, told Nick, "This all makes sense." Then, with Gatsby's nod, she left the party. After, Gatsby often invited Nick to lavish parties. But Nick didn't understand Gatsby, or why he'd invited him. Then one day, Gatsby picked Nick up for lunch in his new custom sports car. On the way, Gatsby said he's from a rich family, graduated Oxford. After his family died, he inherited a vast inheritance, then profited in Europe. War broke out, and he became a war hero and got a medal. After detailing his past to Nick, Gatsby finally stated his purpose. He wanted Nick's small favor, but didn't say it. Miss Baker would explain everything to Nick at afternoon tea. At tea, Gatsby introduced Nick to socialites and influential politicians. But Tom's sudden appearance shocked Gatsby, who then abruptly left. Nick found Baker, asked what Gatsby was doing. Baker said Gatsby wants you to invite Daisy to tea. Baker explained, 5 years ago, Gatsby and Daisy had an affair. Then Gatsby went to war. After war, Daisy waited, but Gatsby didn't return. Then Tom used a $350,000 pearl necklace to win Daisy. But wedding day, Daisy got a letter. She ripped off her pearl necklace, scattering pearls. She regretted it. But her family suppressed it. The wedding went ahead and made headlines. Gatsby returned. Learned Daisy's married. To get close to Daisy, Gatsby bought the mansion directly across from Daisy's estate. They'd hold parties every weekend, hoping Daisy would come. But Daisy never attended. So Gatsby found Nick. Baker said Nick just needed to invite Daisy out. Gatsby would pretend to casually meet her. When Nick got home, Gatsby, who'd clearly waited, feigned a chance meeting. Gatsby wanted to confirm Nick was willing to help, like a nervous girl. Nick said he'd gladly help. That night he'd call Daisy, invite her to tea tomorrow. Gatsby, excited, wanted to give Nick his small business. Nick refused, saying helping's no big deal. Next morning, Nick woke to find his doorstep renovated overnight. Gatsby also sent a room full of fresh flowers, tea, snacks. Gatsby restlessly waited at Nick's. When Daisy arrived, Gatsby had left through the back. Soon he knocked, re-entered. Maybe he felt waiting. That Nick seemed too deliberate, so he ran out in the heavy rain, ran out then back in. Gatsby took a breath before seeing Daisy. In quiet rainy mist, Gatsby feigned calm but was childlike. Nick sat between them. The bright light was too much, so Nick excused himself. Outside, he again felt he's both inside and outside. When he returned, Gatsby and Daisy were intimately, joyfully chatting. Then Gatsby invited Nick to his house. Daisy was astonished by Gatsby's castle. Gatsby seemed to just then notice his house. He gave Daisy endless surprises, as if compensating for something. This dream life was once his goal. But at this moment, he suddenly felt sad. However, Daisy couldn't tell Gatsby her true feelings. Gatsby told Daisy that green light at his dock across the lake once fascinated him. Perhaps that's what Gatsby wanted day and night. If this hug with Daisy satisfied Gatsby, there'd be no more story. But Gatsby had a grand life plan. All new. York wondered where Gatsby's wealth came from, including Daisy's husband Tom. Every party he attended with Daisy, he pondered this. But Gatsby wanted to confront Tom to win Daisy back. After Daisy left, Gatsby told Nick Daisy wasn't happy at the party. She doesn't care about dances. Daisy doesn't love her husband, Tom. Gatsby wants Daisy to divorce Tom. Then he'll take Daisy home and marry her. Gatsby said he built all this for Daisy. Yet he wanted to escape, to reclaim everything lost, and seize what he'd missed. 5 years ago that night, when he kissed that girl's lips, his secret changed. He knew as a poor boy, to be with Daisy, he had to climb. Climb relentlessly, alone. That night their bodies intertwined, love was sublimated. Gatsby said, I'm only 32. If I can forget losing Daisy, I can still become a world-admired person. However, my life must be this way, I must do this. He's going to find Tom. He wants Daisy to tell Tom she doesn't love him, but first, Gatsby needs to give Daisy time to think. Afterward, Gatsby closed his parties. He started enjoying private time with Daisy in his castle, disregarding gossip. For convenience, he even dismissed all his servants. Then one evening, Gatsby called Nick, asked him to Daisy's family lunch. Gatsby said Daisy was ready, she'd reveal everything at dinner. Next day after lunch, Gatsby told Tom, every night, he can see Tom's dock light. Daisy sat uneasily. She couldn't tell Tom what she wanted. Daisy suggested going to the city. They swapped cars, drove to a hotel. They started questioning Gatsby's identity. Gatsby said, your wife never loved you. She loves me. They said, though she sometimes does absurd things, she's always loved Daisy. Gatsby wanted Daisy to tell them she never loved them. They said, Daisy doesn't know you're alive. Some things you'll never know. Then they exposed Gatsby's past, saying he bootlegged. Gatsby, at most, was a gangster's nouveau riche lackey. Gatsby said their only claim to upper class was their money. Now Gatsby's wealth isn't less. They're equal. Tom, however, said everyone hears. Different from Gatsby, birth and bloodline. No matter what Gatsby does, how much money he has, it won't change that. These words hit Gatsby. He snapped, became furious, a thug. This played into Tom's hands. Daisy froze. Then Daisy fled in panic. Gatsby chased after her, distraught. Gatsby drove Tom's car, frantically fleeing. The gas station owner then realized his wife's infidelity. As he pressed her about her lover, she saw Tom's car pass. She thought her lover was coming, so she rushed out and was instantly hit. Tom arrived, saw the agitated gas station owner. Tom told him that yellow car was Gatsby's, and made him think Gatsby was having an affair with his wife. Nick found Gatsby in Tom's garden. Gatsby said everything happened too fast, he didn't brake. But he accidentally let slip Daisy's car. Daisy said, no one must know Daisy hit someone. Daisy insisted on waiting downstairs, so if Tom troubled Daisy, he could save her. Nick told Daisy to wait outside. While he checked, Nick heard Tom tell Daisy, it's not your fault. Daisy had told her husband everything. Tom comforted Daisy, he'd handle it. They seemed to have reached an agreement. But Daisy's busy letting Gatsby take her fall. Nick planned to tell Gatsby what he'd seen and heard, but he didn't say it, cause Gatsby still firmly believed Daisy'd call him at dawn. He wanted to leave with Daisy. He thought she now still needed time to think things through. Gatsby told Nick to wait till dawn. He then told Nick all about himself. Gatsby's real name was James Gatz. His parents were penniless farmers. Gatz, at 16, left home. By chance, he saved a gangster tycoon. He taught Gatsby survival skills and manners, deciding to give Gatsby part of his inheritance. But when the tycoon died, Gatsby's inheritance rights were stolen by the family. Gatsby then relied on bootlegging, became rich, rapidly investing in all industries, accumulating amazing wealth. Gatsby told Nick, "I once thought I had everything, but I really had nothing." Nick asked Gatsby what he wrote in Daisy's heart. Gatsby said he told Daisy to wait till he achieved success, but Daisy had gradually stopped waiting. It turns out, everything Gatsby did, his mansion, his parties, all was for her. Early that morning, Gatsby still waiting for Daisy's call. When Nick left, Gatsby said, "I'm sure Daisy will call." Nick thought and said, "I guess she will." Nick walked downstairs, turned to Gatsby, "They're a messy bunch. They're always just money put together." While Gatsby waited for Daisy's call, a man with a gun arrived. Then the phone rang, piercing the air. Gatsby was about to answer it when the gas station owner killed Gatsby, then took his life. But the call wasn't from Daisy, it was Nick who called. In days that followed, police, reporters, onlookers kept coming. All the blame naturally poured onto Gatsby. Those who'd once been at Gatsby's mansion, enjoying free drinks, became loud, slandering detractors. Except Nick, no one came to Gatsby's funeral. Even Gatsby's deeply loved woman, Daisy, didn't even send a flower for this man she once loved. Everyone retreated to that old city, built with money and coldness, continuing their lives of luxury. After Gatsby's death, for New York, Nick once had a deep admiration for this sparkling city, an endless awe. Yet now it made him feel so disgusted. On his last night in New York, Nick returned to the mansion. It was already ruined and dilapidated. As he stood at the dock, Nick remembered Gatsby's first time gazing at Daisy's dock's green light.